Page 76, Song of the Birds. Some more exercising in trills. At the top of the page, they have a good idea. It's a good idea in trills, because you're playing trills rhythmically, I hope. And the idea is you'll play it slowly at first, and then as your technique gets better, you can start playing trills faster. So at the beginning, it's like if you can only play trills as eighth notes, by all means, do them as eighth notes. So at the beginning of this piece, we have half notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So eighth notes, 1 and 2 and. If that's all you can do, do it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's fine. That's a trill. It works. But then later on, as you get better, if you can turn that into 16th notes, then 1 E and a 2 E and a. 1 E and a 2. Then do that. And when you get really super good, you can turn it into the 32nd notes and play it twice as fast as that. Forget that. And that's a good idea. So on this, if you have to play those trills as eighth notes, that's fine, do them as eighth notes. I'm going to go ahead and do them as 16th notes because that's what we've been doing in the previous videos. So here at the beginning, you have treble clef in both hands, so it's here. And they're telling you the fingers they want you to use. There's other fingerings you can use, but we'll go ahead and just do it the way they're doing it. And they want you to start these trills on the main note. I would tend to start them on the upper note, but they want them on the main note. That's what we'll do. So it's here, 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a. And then the right hand comes in, a C above it. And the left hand's going to come up to this C. Then the right hand is a VA, but it's not a trill, it's just here. And then you're coming down. And the third measure over in the left hand for those eighth notes, I recommend a fourth finger on the G. It's a little harder, but that's the chord, and that's the fingering for the chord, so that's what I recommend. Second line, 16th notes, here. So it's 1 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E. If you can drop your wrist a little bit, stay loose, you know, put a little accent on the beat if you need to. Next line's the same thing. Last line's the same as the first. That's it. As far as the dynamics go, at the beginning, they want you to start out sort of soft and then crescendo. They don't tell you how much to crescendo. If you want to go up to loud, that's fine. What we're going to do is the first half note is just medium soft, just sort of soft. The next one will be a little bit louder, not much. Next one will be louder. So it's here. And I recommend on this one, you crescendo up to the very high C. Just keep crescendoing until you get there. And then you're coming down. And now you're going to get softer. Go back down. And second line, and now it's soft. It's even softer than you were. And that's the right hand. The left hand has to be really soft. Now watch the fingering here in the right hand. You have this trill at the first one, the second line here. But then you're going to play in the next measure the 2 C's with 2 on. So it's, because you're ending the trill on a D. So then the C in the next measures, the notes you're going to play, was second, and then 1. So it's here. Yeah. Next line is the same thing. And the last line is the same as the first. Not a lot going on here. Dynamic wise, you're just going up and down a little bit, not much. So they've added pedal. Alright, fine, we'll put in pedal. I like the sound of it without pedal, but they want pedal, we'll pedal it. And a lot of times when you trill, you do pedal the trill for whatever. At the beginning, I'm going to push the pedal down right when I start with the trill, because these notes are fast. I don't have time to pedal it. You can't do a lag pedal with a trill too much. You lose some notes. You got to put the pedal down immediately. And keep it down. And lift it when you play that high C. Right after you play it, or as you play it, lift the pedal up. So it's here. Lift it up. and then push it down right after you play the chord in the left hand, and leave it down, and bring it up on beat 4 of the last measure. When the left hand comes up, the pedal can come up with it. And that's pretty much it for the pedal. The last line is pedaled almost the same. The 2 middle lines don't get pedaled. But in the last line, pedal it with the trills. And lift it up when you play that high note, and then push it down right after you play the chord. And then lift it up right when you play the C in the last measure, the first note. We want the staccato. I want to hear staccato. Frankly, I like to hear staccato throughout all of them, but they're telling you to pedal, and that covers that up. But you go ahead and use the staccato technique, is what it is. And that's the pedal. Again, I think you could play it very nicely without pedal, but they want it, so we'll put it in. I want to play this really super slow. Now, if you want to play along, go ahead. It's in common time or 4/4 time, but I put the metronome on 8th notes. So it's beating 1 and 2 and. That makes the trills 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and. That's how fast they would go. So I'm only going to give us 2 counts, 2 quarter notes, and then we'll come in. So the right hand's, or the left hand's here, and the right hand's here, and the foot's on the pedal. Let's try this out slowly. 1 and go we and 2, 3, 2. Off. And 4 and 1 and 2. And 2 and 3 and rest and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and and 3 and